Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to try to repair my oscilloscope, the Tektronix TDS744A. It's a 4-channel 500 MHz, which is pretty cool. I bought it second hand. It was working when I bought it. But then in one of my videos I explain how you can do a backup of your NV ROMs because they will break. A few things are certain in these, that are your input relays will lose contact and you need to replace them. It's 4 relays on each input. That is doable, but you need a very tiny soldering iron and you need those special relays. And you need to do it in a specific order because they are blocking each other. Also the caps you need to replace, they will break because of its age. And the NV ROMs. And well, I was showing how you can make a backup of the NV ROM, and then I got over enthusiastic and I wanted to show also how you can do a firmware upgrade. I did that, it failed. I tried to restore my backup and then I got all kind of write errors. So my NV ROMs, the Dallas chips, probably died. I hope it's just that. And there are a few things you can do. You can of course try to replace it with the original chips, which are not available new. So you can buy them second hand, and well, you don't know because they are just as old. And the internal battery, because it's just a chip with a battery on top to retain the memory, the battery will at some point be empty. And yeah, some people drill holes in the sides and try to put the battery on top, but it is all very risky. But I've got a great alternative. I will zoom in on that, and I go through it step by step, and hopefully I can fix it. Okay, I took the cover off, and these are the two Dallas chips. Well, there are two of them. One holds the firmware. This is the DS1650Y, but you could also have the 1250Y. That is almost the same. I think the 16 has some encryption possibilities that is not used in this oscilloscope, so that is okay. And then we have the real-time clock. This one is the 1486, and well, you can almost see on the top there's a little round thingy, and that is the battery. You can better see that with the replacements. I will show you that later, but let me quickly show you on top that those are actually chips with the battery on top. It's almost the same, but then with modern components. And we look at that closer. So first we need to take the main board out, and if you have the serial and parallel option or Centronic option, you just take that out first, and you can just slide that out, because the main board, when all the connectors are off, needs to be slide to the back and out, and this one is just blocking that from sliding. So this is actually the whole fixture of the board. Well, it are these torque screws. Okay, you just slide it backwards, and then the connector needs to be taken out. Just carefully pull. That is one. Just to be sure, I have my anti-static. We can pull the ventilator loose, also not to forget, something you easily forget. Pull this one, pull. Just gently. This is the, I think, the power supply board or the processor connecting up to down. Just carefully pull it out. Same for the flat cables here. Just easy, not too much force. Okay, also loose. And we're missing here, I think that's the video cable if I'm correct. Here we have another cable of something. And if you have the floppy drive, that is also here, and you just can pull the blue thingy up with the screwdriver, or you can do with your fingers. And then you should be able to lift it and go. So that is that. That is that. I think all the cables are loose. Maybe I just take the whole board out. Yeah. And it should be able to slide to the back, and then you can lift. You should be able to lift it, and here it is. Okay, we have the board on the table. It's these chips, so we'll just turn it, and so it is this one and this one. And you need a proper solder iron, desolder. I will be using this one. I forgot the name, but I can leave a link. And well, you see it's heating up. I like it's proper, it's lightweight. It just does what it needs to do very nicely. Well, it is all quite small and I haven't done it for a while. So let's just see if I still know how to do this without breaking too many tracks. Just heat it, and then okay, that seems clean. Let's zoom in. Okay, well, I think that worked well. It is all clean. The hole seems, the pin is all seems to be loose. So I will put the time lapse and I will do the others. Okay, I noticed there are a few that don't want. A few are still, there is still solder. And I think I cannot get it hot enough because maybe inside of the IC there is a lot of mass connected to it. So I will also use my welder to heat it a little bit more. Put some fresh solder. Then when that is hot, I wait a little bit more. And now you can hear that works a lot better. A little bit fresh solder. So I have 3 more of those that didn't want to go immediately. The rest went kind of smooth. Put some extra solder, make it a little bit hot. Then yeah, it sounds a lot better. In the past, when I did a lot more soldering, I was even better with my left hand than I am now, but it works. Okay. Well, okay, let's see how I did after so many years. All the holes seem good. And I don't think I damaged anything. It actually looks quite clean. And yeah, that looks all nice. Well, same on the other side. I don't think I pull any wires or okay, both are out. I didn't make too much damage. No damage at all. The holes are clean, so I can put the sockets. Let's have a look at the replacement kit. So the replacement kit I got is actually a real replacement kit. So it is not that I have new Dallas chips, which is not possible. And be very careful if you buy these on the internet, because you have no clue if they work or not work. And that is exactly the reason why David Caligio13, I will put the link, has built this this replacement kit, because I think he bought a set of 5 and then he found out none of them were working. And of course it was from China, so it was just useless to ship it back because that would cost a fortune. And so he designed his own replacement kit. And well, just let's have a closer look. It actually looks pretty good. And he told me it would have been, because it's from Texas, USA, to ship to Europe, the Netherlands, it would take 2 to 3 months. And surprisingly, it is within 10 days it was here. So we both were surprised, so I sent an email to him. And it looks good, well shipped. So here we have the box, which it came in. It is nicely packed. And I was also lucky because he just finished a new batch, and that's why it was immediately ready. And also the batteries were, that's why, full. The batteries on these also have a higher capacity, so it will stay longer also. These, I think, 10-15 years, but they are now in the scope for 25 years, so of course the batteries stop at some point. And but you can look how you can fix this. And well, there is a battery somewhere here. You can here see a little bit the rounding of the battery, but it is a small, very small battery, so then you need to cut it open here in the side. Hopefully you don't break any internal wires. And well, it's not something I wanted to do with my scope. So what he did, he built 2 things. They look exactly the same to be installed, to be honest. But he said, okay, here is the 1250. That is the same as the 1650 right here. That one has an extra IC here. And here, I think it is a little crystal or something, because it holds a real-time clock. So that's the 1486 right here. So what does it look like? Well, I have here the little package. And he put it also on sockets, so you only have to do the whole desoldering thing only once. There is a little attention here. If you have the video board, which is on top of these chips, then you probably don't have the space, because it comes a little bit higher. So if you put these on top of each other, because of the battery, it is well, it's a little bit low, but you can see it is bigger. So you will definitely have a problem with the video board. But if you don't have the video board, no worries, it will fit. So we have a very nice high quality socket. We're going to solder that one in. And well, this is what it looks like. Well, I think here is the little crystal. Let me change it a little bit. Here is the little crystal. So this probably clock. Both they say 1486. He just made the same circuit board for both of them. You can buy also only one, but I decided to replace both of them. Pretty cool kit, I would say. Oh, and another cool thing is, well, if you live in the US, it's probably a lot cheaper than for us in Europe now, because the price is nice. I think you pay around 100 in dollars. But we in Europe need to pay now VAT, and including the imports and then the shipping. So then it becomes a little bit more expensive. But you know what is really expensive? Buy a few of these and then find out they don't work. So that is it, I think. Yeah, and also that is kind of cool. You can just tell David what type of oscilloscope you have and what options you have, because the chip, the 1650 holds the firmware, so then it puts already the right firmware, and the real-time clock, the the 1486, that also holds the options, and I think the calibration in the 744 is actually in the other board. So, but he already switches on the options you want, or that you have, either way, so you can also use that. But you can find also on the EEV block how to switch on and off some of the options. David is also on the EEV block. I think there he's also called Kelly Joe 13, just like his store. Okay, let's first put the sockets in. You need to remember which one is where. But to me it made sense because the real-time clock is here closest to the other EEPROM. So just remember that. Well, the pin 1 is right here, right here. So let's put these high quality sockets in. They should just fall in because the holes are clean. Yes, and they do. Perfect. Same here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let me get some foam and then I will turn it around. So I put some foam. So stop to the paints. Let's turn it over and carefully solder it in. So the soldering is done, and now checking quickly with the microscope what I did. I clean also all the tracks. That looks good enough for me. So it's all clean. I think I'm going to put them back. This we don't need. Nice trick to push it. Well, the pin 1 is this. So the clock goes close to the EEPROM. Pin 1 is up. So let's just see. Okay, that is in. Then the other chip. You can't really see, I think, but chop, pushing them in, and they are indeed a little bit higher. Yeah, as you can see, they're fractional higher, especially the clock here, because underneath the battery is an extra chip that this one doesn't have. And these were, I will put them upside down. Yeah, a little lower, especially that one. That is really a bit higher. But I don't have the video board. You see, the right one is a bit higher. But I have no video board, so I don't mind. I have that space. And it would be super nice if the oscilloscope would boot now. So let me put it back on the desk. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm just going to start it. I cannot power it on too long. I think I really connected all the cables. Oh, that is not good. Here we go. I quickly saw a little counter here on the top. I have never looked at that. This always takes a long time. And now I hope that it will continue to boot. Okay, I made backups of what I did the other time. But first I can try if I can still read this and just see if I can communicate. So I'm using the tech tool. I need to put it in unprotected mode first. So just push the pin here. Switch it on. Let's see if I can still communicate with the GPIB. Let's first see if this one sees something. Yes, it does find an instrument on 29. Apparently, if you put it in this mode, it goes to 29. So almost there. I am able to communicate with the tech tool to the oscilloscope. Now it's in unprotected mode. I did upload again the firmware that I have, just a firmware file from the official TechWiki. It did upload without write errors, so it improved already a lot. Only thing I noticed now, I have a document. I also the second chip, it's called the NV RAM, but it holds the configuration and something else. I made a wrong backup the other time because I started at 3000 or 300,000 and I should have started at 400,000, but I got confused because this is the 744 and the firmware is between 100,000 and 300,000, and some other scope has 400,000. But the NVRAM, even though the firmware is up to 300,000 or 0 extra, the NVRAM with options starts always at 4. And what I did, I made the backup from 300,000 up to 4. So that is actually an empty area, and I uploaded that. So that means now that my options are empty, but it is, I think it holds more information. So that's why I didn't boot, but that's probably also why I didn't boot the other time. The only thing now is I don't get any read errors. So I will try to ask one of my colleagues of the EEV block, the other test equipment addicts, if they can make a backup of their NVRAM, hopefully with the same options. If not, I can change those options. So that is what I think that is the problem now, because the firmware now is perfect. I'm still able to communicate, so the thing is not broken. The only thing I need now is for the second chip to have the proper content. So almost there. It is not fixed, but it really has improved a lot. I didn't get any write errors anymore. And the only thing is that I uploaded now the wrong content. I can also open it again because I did make a backup from David's when the chips, before the chips were in. So I can also try that. But I think I try to ask people for a backup. Usually they are very willing to help, so I hope that is possible. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.